Fox Sports.
We are Black Horse. We are Ohio.
Beaver Fever returns to Progressive Field tonight. The rookie right-hander can put himself in some select company. With a win tonight, he would become the first pitcher since 1948 World Series champion hero Gene Bearden to win 6 games in his first 8 big league appearances. Indians Pirates Game 2 of this 3-game series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Pittsburgh Pirates are absolutely red hot. Hottest team in baseball with a 10-game win streak, and a win tonight would equal their longest winning streak in over 20 years. They're just hitting on all cylinders.
They truly are. They're pitching well, but an 0-2 pitch last night gave them a 3-run home run, and they took off from there. They've been hitting the ball all over the field, and when you look at their outfielders of Dickerson, Marte, and Polanco, they have 7 homers, 17 RBIs, hitting 380 in their last 4 games. But they're pitching well, and they're not going to stop. And you can see 12 out of their last 13. It's been 14 years since they've had a 10-game winning streak, so they're firing on all cylinders, and this is going to be a tough team to beat.
Pirates still seeking either an NL Central divisional title or possibly a wild card berth, not out of the realm of possibility, especially if they keep playing the way they are. Maybe Shane Bieber can shut them down. He's already beaten one National League team this year.
Well, Shane's been a pleasant surprise this year for the Indians. He goes at hitters. He has very good command. He has a good breaking ball to go with his changeup, and he can spot that fastball. He doesn't back down, and when he gets traffic on the bases, he's able to pitch out of it. And let's see if he can go out and beat the Pirates tonight and stop their streak.
Yeah, he beat the Cardinals earlier this year. The Pirates, though, have won 7 straight against American League opponents. We'll be back with the play-by-play. Alan Jensen have the showstopper, and we'll check in with Andre Knott straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by Cleveland Clinic Express Care online. Tap the app for 24/7 virtual visits.
Indians and
end the 10-game winning streak for Pittsburgh after they got a win yesterday in a rain-shortened game, 7-0 in 6 innings over the Tribe. Welcome back to center field here, along with Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski. It is great to have you here, too. And let's take a look at our showstopper from last night, and that might be the New York Yankees getting out of the American League East race, at least for the division title. Looks like they might be a wild card. They lost again, and Gary Sanchez didn't run out of ball.
No, he didn't. He said that he might have aggravated, well, he did re-aggravate a groin injury in the first inning on his 10th pass ball of the year. MRI this morning confirmed that he has been put on the disabled list. There's talk right now that Brian Cashman, the Yankees, may be on the phone to the LA Angels for their starting catcher, Martin Maldonado. Sanchez hasn't had a good year offensively.
No.
A .188 hitting. They all of a sudden have a really big problem at their starting catcher.
Severino's got knocked around a little bit. Looks like the Yankees
pitcher.
have some needs now as we near the trade deadline. Let's go upstairs now. Matt and Rick join us for the call on tonight's game. And guys, interesting that the Yankees suddenly are having some trouble.
Don't you just feel bad? Don't you just?
Nope.
Doesn't your heart just break for the
Not even a little bit.
The poor New York Yankees. Well, here at Progressive Field, we're hoping for a silver lining because last night was ugly, but there's always another game. There's always tomorrow, and hopefully the Indians can bounce back here and even up this series. Shane Bieber, that man right there, will be on the hill for the Tribe as he tries to get things turned around for Cleveland, and he's pitched well this year. Let's go downstairs right now to our man, Andre, not with the hear right sounds of the game.
Well, thank you very much. I was always told there's no crying in baseball, so get over it. Yankees figure it out, right? For Shane Bieber, he's been a surprise to many in Major League Baseball and what he's been able to do in the first half of the season. He went down to Columbus 5 days ago. He threw 50 pitches. The team was taking care of him. But in talking to Carl Willis, there's one word that stands out about what Shane Bieber's been able to do in the start of his career.
That competing word. He's had some situations where we've seen him, the bases get dirty, and for a young guy, he doesn't get intimidated by that. He seems to be having a very good idea of how to manage those situations and, get through that without a lot of damage. And I think it speaks volumes of his maturity as a pitcher.
Well, maturity, competitiveness, all the things you want to see in a starting pitcher, in particular, a rookie starting pitcher.
Yeah, and he's going to be tested tonight because the Pittsburgh Pirates, they have been swinging the bat very well, but it'll be another challenge or another notch in his belt if he can go out there and compete, and I'm sure he will because he doesn't like to walk people, so he's going to have his work cut out for him this evening.
Looks like we'll be dry tonight, at least
love it
for the time being. And hopefully it stays that way throughout the ball game. 78 degrees will be our game time temperature. And if you notice, Arch, really not much of a breeze at all.
That's fine. Come on out. We had a long night, the weather-wise last night. 3 rain delays.
Yeah.
So, let's sweep that away and come out and play a nice, clean game of baseball tonight. And it'll be fun to watch.
Well, and that's going to be the key. And look, last night, it was ugly. When you commit errors and routine errors, it just makes it look worse than maybe what it really is.
Yeah, it was just, you're right. But that was yesterday. We're going to turn the page over on this one, and we're going to get you started and talk about Shane Bieber, who is going to be our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Shane 5-1 on the year with a 3.53 ERA. He's only walked 8. He struck out 42. So he's gone out and done a nice job. It'll be his second career start against a National League team. Remember, he beat the St. Louis Cardinals June 27th in St. Louis, where he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, and just 1 run allowed. Walked 1 and struck out 5. Let's see if he can do the same thing here to Pittsburgh tonight.
And that Pirates starting lineup for manager Clint Hurdle looks like this. Corey Dickerson will lead it off. Starling Marte will bat second. Gregory Polanco hitting in the 3-hole. Elias Diaz, the catcher, will bat cleanup. Then it's Colin Moran, the DH. Josh Bell switch hitting first baseman. David Freese, the veteran, at third. Josh Harrison at second. And Jordy Mercer, the Pirates shortstop, will bat ninth.
And the Dodge defense for the Indians behind Bieber tonight will be Brantley in left field. Naquin is in center. Cabrera over in right. On the infield, as always, Ramirez at third. Lindor at short. Kipnis is at second, Alonso at first, and Gomes is behind the plate.
Alan Porter will call the balls and strikes. Nick Marley is at first. Chris Guccione at second. Bill Miller, the crew chief, down at third. And with that, we're ready to go. This interleague series all time belongs to Pittsburgh. They've won 20 of 17. I'm sorry, they have won 20 and lost 17 in the history of this rivalry. And Pittsburgh this year has taken advantage of a woeful Central Division.
Boy, they sure have. 11-2 on the year. They've won 7 straight American League foes. Yes, indeed.
Corey Dickerson steps in to lead it off. And Bieber with a good fastball. He gets it by him, strike one. Dickerson, the 6th best hitter in the National League, coming into tonight with a .315 average. In off the plate, 1-1. Feeling for it. The fastball was up and away, and he just slapped it foul. And the 1-2 pitch cut under the curveball, and count evens at 2-2. Shane Bieber has struck out 42 batters in his first 6 big league appearances. Danny Salazar struck out 45 in his first 6. Herb Score struck out 66.
Yeah, he's swinging a good .315 batting average this year, and he showed last night, you know, he has power to the pull side, but he gave in, and he'll take a base hit the other way, as we saw last night, a single to left field. When he gets to 2 strikes, he just fouled off a very good pitch to live for one more.
Chokes up quite a bit on the bat as he fouls that pitch off.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times you see people that don't choke up. When you do that, people say, well, you know, what does choking up do for you? It gives you maybe a little better bat control. You can manipulate it a little better. And these guys nowadays, they don't use, you know, 35-inch bats. There's a lot of them at 33, 34 inches long and about 31 ounces. But right there, he can get the barrel of the bat to the baseball a little bit quicker when you choke up. Like
Slaps it up the alley in left center field, and he is going to round first, dig for 2. Naquin's throw is not in time. Corey Dickerson with a hustle double, his 24th of the year.
That was a really good job of hitting, and we noticed last night that these Pirates and this team, they get on the fastball. There it was, 94 away on our Nissan pitch tracker, and nice short swing. And partly he's choking up, and you can see how quickly the barrel got to the ball, and Naquin makes a nice throw, but he hustled out of the box and just beats it into second base. So a leadoff double for the Pirates, and here they go again.
Starling Marte is batting .290 on the year. 2 for 3 last night with a pair of runs batted in. In the month of July, he's downright sizzling. Hitting .382 this month. That's 6th best in the National League. Down low, 2-0. Bieber's aggressiveness may be tested against this hot hitting lineup. Gets a swing and a miss. It's 2-1.
That's going to be a key. The off-speed secondary pitches to a lineup that has been getting on the fastball. Here's a slider, and you don't forget about your curveball or changeup. That's a good slider that he gets the swing and miss on. He's going to have to use everything in his arsenal.
That's hit a long way, and it's not coming back. Pirates take the lead 2-0. 16th home run of the year for Starling Marte.
Hitting streak continues, and another fastball that you better locate it, because they turned it around in a hurry right there as well. Number 16 for Marte, the 5th given up by Bieber. That one comes back to the inside part of the plate, and you can see no stride whatsoever, just quick hands through the hitting area, and Pittsburgh will play from in front. It's 2-0.
Marte now with a hit in 17 straight. Gregory Polanco.
Watch the hands get through here in a hurry. Quick to the baseball, boy, and got through it.
Shane Bieber with a breaking ball for a strike. And 1-1 the count on Polanco. Pulls that foul. And the count is 1-2. Polanco with a hit in 8 straight. His 43 extra base hits, tied for 9th most in the National League. 17 homers, 22 doubles, and 4 triples.
Yeah.
One of those came last night.
They're second in the league in triples with 29. Polanco 22 doubles, 17 dingers. Yes, indeed.
He pops this one up. Center field, Tyler Naquin. 1 down. There's a look at the home run by Starling Marte, courtesy of StatCast, powered by AWS.
Yeah, that was a line drive, and you can see it had some top spin. Took about 4.3 seconds to get out of here.
They're still filing in. And it's already 2-0 Pittsburgh. Elias Diaz, the Pirates catcher. He rips the fastball straight back to the screen. Diaz was 0 for 3 last night. Fly ball to center. Naquin drifting back onto the track. 2 down. Storylines tonight are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Indians need to tighten up the defense, and offensively they need to find something. Blanked in back-to-back games for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, when a team is swinging the bat as well as Pittsburgh, you must make every play. No extra outs. You don't want to give any extra base runners. And they usually like to play from in front here at this ballpark, but they've been struggling a little bit at home.
Colin Moran fouls one back. Colin Moran, part of the package Pittsburgh received in return from Houston in the Garrett Cole trade. The other part of that package, or another part of that package, will be their starting pitcher, Joe Musgrove. Pittsburgh also got a relief pitcher, Michael Feliz, who's in the bullpen, and a minor league outfielder, Jason Martin. The 1-1. And a foul right back. Pirate fans might not be happy about the trading of star players like Andrew McCutcheon and Garrett Cole, but they still have a heck of a ball club. And with the additions of young players that you assume will be under control for a while, like Musgrove, like Moran, they won't be empty-handed, because you talk about those guys as they approach free agency and they get to those. If you don't have the kind of resources to re-sign them and they leave, then you're kind of back to square one. It's never easy. We've seen it in Cleveland when you lose a player to free agency because he just gets to the point where he's so good you can't keep him. It's tough.
Right. Ask Kansas City about that.
The 1-2. Struck him out. So Bieber gets out of the first, but the Pirates come out swinging. A Dickerson double, a 2-run shot by Marte. The Indians are coming to bat.
Start for Pittsburgh. He is 3-4 on a year with a 4.08, and he is 0-1 in one career start against the Indians. That's when he was with the Astros last year. He lost an 8-6 decision in 3 innings. He gave up 7 runs.
Terry Francona's starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Lindor, Brantley, Ramirez at the top. Edwin Encarnacion back in the starting lineup and hitting cleanup. Then it's Yonder Alonso, Melky Cabrera, who's hit in 4 straight, Jason Kipnis, Yan Gomes, and Tyler Naquin batting ninth. Just did catch the inside corner.
Looked like a cut fastball there on a 2-0 count inside. Nice pitch.
Broke his bat, pulls it foul, and it's 2-2.
Maybe another one coming inside. True cutter. Musgrove coming off a start against Milwaukee in his last start, and you can see the grip right there. Throws it inside, and that ball sort of runs into the barrel. Got himself a bat there, but in his last start against Milwaukee, 7 2/3 innings, 7 hits allowed, 5 runs. He had a no decision in that game, although Pittsburgh won it 7-6. Look at circle change grip going into the glove right there.
Upstairs with a fastball, and it's 2-2. Lindor with a bullet to right field. Polanco cuts it off, but not before he gets to the fence. And into second base with a leadoff double is Francisco Lindor.
.34th double for Lindor on a fastball. Not going to get by him right there. Put a good swing on it. Their leadoff hitter will also double to start the ball game and give the Indians a chance now to get on a board with a runner in scoring position. Nobody out.
And Michael Brantley, the batter. Brantley with the 5th best home batting average in the American League at .346. And how do you like this? He bunts, he gets it by Musgrove. What a job by the pitcher to retire Brantley on the bunt. Lindor gets to third, but I thought Brantley was going to have himself an infield hit.
He was bunting for a hit there, and that was an unbelievable play. A very athletic play by Musgrove. Watch him go on the ground, get up, pop up, and throw in one motion. That looked like an infielder. I'm sorry, that would have been a base hit. He took one away. I'm sure they'll give him a sacrifice. But I'll tell you what, Michael was bunting for the base hit because they were back, and he thought he had a base hit. That was a beautiful play, but Lindor does get to third base.
Now Jose Ramirez with 3 infielders on the right side for Pittsburgh. And he swings at the first pitch. A ball out of the strike zone, down and in. And it's 0-1. Jose Ramirez leading the majors in extra base hits. His teammate Francisco Lindor right behind him. A Lowe's whole team together. High fastball evens the count of 1-1. Tops it. Harrison will throw him out. The Indians get on the board. Ramirez with RBI number 73. And only one man in the American League has more of those than Ramirez.
Yeah, but when you've been shut out the last 2 games, it's nice that you get on the board in the first inning. Let's check out the defense for Pittsburgh. It'll be Dickerson in left. Marte is in center. Polanco over in right. It'll be Freese at third, Mercer at short, Harrison at second, Bellas at first with Diaz doing the catching.
Edwin Encarnacion out the last 2 games, back in the lineup here tonight. Edwin not in agreement with Alan Porter. That foul, and it's 0-2. Encarnacion, 4th in the American League with 68 runs batted in. Line drive and a base hit left field. Encarnacion with a hit in 4 straight games. Down to Andre.
Well, somewhere under trying to figure out why Edwin didn't play in the last 2 games. He got hit back in that Yankees game, the last game before the All-Star break, right there as you see it. Got hit in that right hand, and what's happened to him on the Saturday's game against Texas, when he tries to swing and go full out and extend his arms, right there, Arch?
Yeah.
It hurts him a little bit right there. He looked at the doctors, they had him check it when he got back here. They told him he's going to be fine. He's just going to go through some soreness. So sometimes you will see him follow through, and that right hand may come off a couple times. If that's the case, that means that hand is bothering him a little bit.
Yonder Alonso with a swing and a miss on the ball downstairs. Alonso 0 for 2 last night. He probably had the best opportunity to get the Indians on the board when he came to bat in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out before the final rainstorm of the night. But just like this at bat, he was quickly in the hole 0-2. And last night he never swung at a strike. And for hitters, sometimes that patience, that tug of war between patience and aggressiveness, and usually aggressiveness wins out. Fouls it off and stays alive because hitters want to hit.
No, and what you're saying, yes, that is true. They do want to hit. If you get aggressive in the strike zone and you get a pitch to what you're looking for, you sort of cut the plate in half and shrink the zone. But you can't be aggressive in swinging at everything, because if you start swinging at pitches out of the zone, they'll never throw you strikes.
Up and away with a fastball. Pulled foul. Stays 1-2. Right at Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, with the shift on, inning over. We've played 1. It's Pittsburgh 2, Cleveland 1.
Home screen icons and features like the MLB TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, news, live radio broadcast, and much more. Download the MLB At Bat app today.
Shane Bieber goes to work here in inning number 2. Pirates on top 2-1. Josh Bell will lead it off for Pittsburgh. Downstairs. Lines it into left field, and that's a base hit for Bell.
Oh, big man going the other way.
He's hit .362 in 13 interleague games this year. And he's a guy that we just noticed last time when he gets up there, he is swinging.
Yeah, and it was elevated. He let that ball get deep, but I mean, he hits that ball hard. Going the other way, stayed on it nicely. Their third hit. You know, Bieber knew that fastball was away, but it might have been up a little bit. And all 3 of their hits have come on fastballs.
Veteran David Freese, 0 for 3 last night. Unable to catch up to the high heat, and the count is 1-1. Tied him up. Same pitch, but that time he moved it in on him. And now Bieber is ahead of him, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bell not much of a threat to run. He's tried 3 times. He's been caught all 3 times. Out of play. 6 hits in his last 6 games for David Freese. Pulls that foul over toward the dugout.
Yeah, good curveball, but they fouled it off. Just got on top of it, hit it right into the ground. One big difference, boy, when you're coming from the minor leagues. Major league hitters, they make you work to get them out. You can get to strike 2, but you got to work awfully hard and continue to make good pitches.
In the hole. Cut off by Ramirez. There's one. And Freese beats it out. So 1 down, a runner at first.
Well, there's the hop to Ramirez. Gets it over to Kipnis, and by the time it's turned, not enough on the throw to get him.
Josh Harrison looks at a strike. Just inside.
You get serious when you get runners on base at 375 average. Concentration level goes up. He's been dealing with some hamstring issues.
Line to left, the base hit.
Well, he hit the breaking ball last night on 2 strikes and 0-2 count. Put a good swing on that breaking ball. Look at it last night, 0-2. That one's not coming back. And the last base hit, he had 1-1 pitch. Hit a breaking ball, so he may sit on it at times. So his average continues to go up. You get runners on base.
Now Jordy Mercer. Bieber with a breaking ball for strike 1. Already 4 hits for Pittsburgh tonight. He had 10 hits in just 6 innings last night. Jordy Mercer was a 3rd-round pick out of Oklahoma State 10 years ago. Swung on and missed, and a big strikeout for Shane Bieber. 2nd of the night, 2 down in the inning.
Batting now for Pittsburgh, left fielder Corey Dickerson.
You watch Bieber go at him and attack him with a breaking ball and a fastball, and then go right outside off the dish with another breaking ball. A nice quick 3-pitch out. But now you have 1 more to get, going back to the top of the lineup.
The Colorado Rockies made Dickerson a 8th-round pick back in 2010 out of Mississippi. And 7 years later, they traded him to Tampa for Jake McGee. Here's a long fly ball to center field. Back is Naquin, still going back. He's at the wall, and he can't make the play. Around 3rd, Freeze will score. Harrison comes home into 3rd with a 2-run triple is Corey Dickerson, and it's 4-1 Pittsburgh.
Come on, baby.
This was a high drive, and it had time, and Tyler Naquin was sort of drifting back to that wall. He gets there. Now he doesn't know. Watch, he'll pin himself up. He went to jump for it. It looked like he had room. I want to see where it hits.
It's off his heel of his glove.
Yeah, it sure did. A very catchable ball right there, and it goes off his glove, and 2 runs will score, and Dickerson will cruise into 3rd. That'll be his 6th triple, and a big 2-out hit there.
Starling Marte with a 2-run homer in the 1st. Bats with 2 down here in the 2nd. By no means is anyone going to suggest that that's an easy or a routine play. But certainly Tyler Naquin, I think, would be the first to tell you he's got to make that catch.
Ball stays in the ballpark like that, you get back, yes, you make that play.
Especially run all that way, you go all the way back to the wall, you get there.
Well, I didn't see him take his eye off the ball to know where he was at with the wall, you know, in a replay. I'd have to look at it again, but a lot of times you have to take a quick peek to see where you're located on the field so you know how many more steps you have. He thought he was going to hit the wall, and the ball was catchable, and I think he had a half a step to go from what I saw. Here you go. There's the 1 peek. take another one. But see, he was drifting, and by the time you get back there, that's where you have to make the play. He took one peek, but he had to take one more.
Now the 0-2. Fastball up high.
So again, when a play is not made like that, it continues to make your pitcher work and add pitches to the pitch count.
And runs to the board.
Yep. I mean, that ball was hit hard. Not an easy play, but it's one that could have been made.
The 2-2 to Marte. And that spun off the hand, up and in, full count.
So I'm talking about the secondary pitches have to be very effective for Bieber. These guys can hit the heater very well.
And that's going to be cut off by Lindor. But by the time he recovers, Marte is safe at first. 5-1 Pittsburgh. Marte's third run batted into the night.
Boy, these outfielders that they have, they are on fire. There's a fastball, and it was out over the plate and hit hard. And Lindor does a nice job to stop it. You weren't going to get him even if you catch it cleanly. But I told you the outfielders, they were hitting .382 with 7 homers and 17 ribbies in the last 4 games. Well, give them now 5 RBIs in this game. They have another home run added and 4 more hits. So those guys continue to bash the baseball.
Gregory Polanco to the plate. He fly to center his only time up.
Stepping in now for the Pirates.
And Dan Otero is up, getting loose in the Cleveland bullpen. Out of play. Ripped it back foul. Upstairs, Polanco has made some adjustments this year, particularly last month or so. He's been a lot better against left-handed pitching. And Clint Hurdle said, you know, you can't continue to call him young anymore. He's got 2,000 plate appearances under his belt. He won't turn 27 until the end of the season. So he's still young in terms of, you know, baseball age. But I think Hurdle's point was, you know, this isn't a kid. This isn't a rookie. It's time to learn. It's time to make the adjustments.
He should be there. Absolutely. You have to make them on your own. Enough time in the batter's box to do so. I know what he's saying when he says that.
Wow, that bounced in front of Gomes. He had no chance. It was just hoping it might stay in front of him. Marte gets to second base on the wild pitch.
Yeah, from 0-2 to 3-2, and the breaking ball is off speed, and secondary pitches are not there tonight for him. And these hitters are hitting the fastball. He knows it, but this one is way out in front. It catches Gomes on the elbow and gets back there. Look at the home plate umpires looking for help. He's trying to hide.
Now Bieber ready, the payoff pitch, and that is gone. Whoa. That's what you're talking about. Polanco with his 18th home run of the year. And it's a 5-run second inning for Pittsburgh. And that's going to be it for Shane Bieber.
I'm telling you, the sound that the ball is making off their bats is incredible. Just listen to it. I mean, you know it. And that's a heater that left the ballpark, and they rocked the Rook tonight.
So the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Terry Francona will go to Dan Otero to try to get out of the inning. It's Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland 1. Ohio.
Well, just watch. These are all going to be fastballs, and it doesn't matter the location. They stayed on them. They haven't missed them. They didn't foul any off, and that one was smashed. 418 feet, and it was a 3-2 pitch. He just threw his breaking balls into the dirt. He had to come back with a fastball, and they were ready.
Eighth man to bat in the inning is Elias Diaz. He fly to center in the first inning. Otero gets ahead of him in 0-2. For the second night in a row, though, this crowd is stunned.
Just thinking, boy, it's so early and they're already down. What are we going to do? Well, they're going to have to come back. They're going to have to put an offensive show on their own selves.
Grounded to third, where Jose Ramirez throws him out. Middle of the second inning, and it's 7-1 Pirates. A different type of game than the one we saw last night. Instead, we're seeing almost an instant replay. A couple of defensive plays not made, and Pittsburgh taking full advantage and blasting away out to a 7-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Melky Cabrera will lead off for Cleveland. And Joe Musgrove with a fastball strike. Melky has hit in 4 straight games, going 6 for 15 during that time. Taps one over the head of the pitcher. Mercer has to hurry, can't get it out of his glove, and Melky Cabrera will be safe on an infield single.
Well, that goes to show you when a guy has to hustle and know he has to get rid of it. He catches it, and it just never in the transfer could get it out of the glove because he knew he had to be perfect with the play. It'll go as an infield single for Cabrera. So there's your start. Now you have to start chipping away. This is now the rest of this game, Matt, is where they have to play perfect baseball. You can't give up another run. That bullpen's got to throw zeros on the board, and the offense has to peck away, and I mean get a couple every inning and get back into it.
Jason Kipnis, the batter. I think the first part of your statement might be the toughest one. Regardless of how well the Indians may pitch the rest of this game, you're facing a team that's swinging it with as much confidence maybe as any team we have seen this year. 2-0 the count on Kipnis. And it's 3-1. is a called strike, but it looked like it was up and away. So instead of ball 4, it's a full count.
Take a look at it. Yeah, that's should have been on first base. Nothing he can do. He knew it wasn't in there. He didn't swing, but it's called a strike. So.
And that's fouled back. We'll do it again. Joe Musgrove made a really athletic play in the first inning.
Yes, he did.
To take a bunt single away from Michael Brantley. It was ruled a sacrifice. But he jumped off the mound, grabbed it, threw it. He was falling away from first base as he let it go and still had plenty on the throw to get Brantley.
He looked like an everyday player on that ball. You know, not many pitchers do that.
Well, that's why I bring it up, because the uninformed, the uneducated might think of offensive and defensive linemen in football as non-athletes. This guy was a two-way starter in high school. He was an offensive lineman and defensive lineman, and at 6'5", 260, you can see why. In high school. But he took a scholarship to go to college as a pitcher.
He doesn't look that heavy. He's in pretty darn good shape. But
fly ball, left center field. Dickerson calls for it, makes the catch. One away. Send it over to Al Pulaski right now for a game break.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's head out to Baltimore, where the Orioles are hosting the Red Sox, and the only run of the game is thanks to J.D. Martinez here in the first inning. Solo home run number 30 on the year to tie him with Jose Ramirez for the major league lead in that category. Still 1-0 Red Sox. They're in the bottom of the third inning at Camden Yards, fellas.
Thanks, Al. Yan Gomes will bat with 1 on and 1 out. Popped up, foul ground, Bell, routine. 2 down.
well, the 3-game series with the Pirates will conclude tomorrow with a 1:10 start. 10,000 fans are going to receive an Indians beach towel. That'll be courtesy of Lexus. Check out Indians.com for the tickets. Come on out, 1:10, and then it's an off day Thursday. Head out on the road, so a very short 3-game homestand for the second time, I think, this year. We had a 2-gamer.
Tyler Naquin looks at a fastball, and that's called a strike. He doubles up, it's 0-2. Wow. Did you see the catcher Diaz? He was sliding. He slid behind Tyler Naquin.
He's amazed that he even got a piece of the ball by the way he's looking. Look at, he's talking to the umpire about it. Watch. That is unbelievable how he got to the baseball, because he was scooting over to catch it.
If he hadn't hit it, it would have hit him in the back leg.
It may have. I mean, that's where we've seen Chisenhall do that and hit one between his legs like that.
We saw Ramirez swing and miss at a pitch and get hit on the back leg this year.
Well, he took one last night, was it? And got hit. Was that in Texas or here last night?
It was in Texas.
Did that go between his legs? Unbelievable. We just talked about it. They're like dribbling the basketball.
Curly Neal.
Yeah, Curly.
Blew him away with some high cheddar. First strikeout for Musgrove. 7-1 Pittsburgh through 2. Out of the ballpark, you can make reservations to have a little dinner before the game,
right,
or during the game. There's 2 different seatings. Just all you have to do is, oh, that's another base hit for Pittsburgh. My goodness, Colin Moran swats one between first and second into right field, and that's their 8th hit of the game already. Yeah, you can log on to Indians.com and make yourself a reservation at the Terrace Club.
On a day that might be a little too warm, or we would say, or too cold, but we're past that stage.
Yeah. But it's kind of nice that you have the option. You can come down before.
That's the thing to do, because
hang out, watch a little BP from the
get some good food. And look, the girls know we're showing them. They see them on the monitors that they have up there. And then you eat prior to it, and then you can get out and get the baseball atmosphere. That's the only thing, is you don't hear the ball game that well up there. They have monitors, but good food, good time.
Yeah. Really chill environment. Look how everybody's casual. Remember in the old days, you had to be dressed up.
Oh,
to go
yeah.
to the Terrace Club.
Sure you do.
Josh Bell. 1 ball, 1 strike. This young man gets after it.
There's a good changeup. And that's a good location down. Well, you better have your secondary pitches right now pitching against the Pirates.
Tied him up. Good pitch.
He worked him over right there.
Otero strikes him out. 1 down. Our great clip of the game from last night, Melky Cabrera playing some D, going up, making a catch, crumbling to the ground. The good news was he's okay.
Yeah, right. Looking for that 1-pitch ground ball. Get out of it. Maybe he can get Freeze to roll over on a sinker. The slider away.
Now to play right side.
I want to send out birthday wishes to Anna Archibald of Painesville, turning 92 today. Anna, happy birthday to you. Also, we have Lunny from Ashtabula turning 60. Lunny, happy birthday.
Shoots that one into right field. Stopping at second is Moran. And the beat goes on for Pittsburgh.
Watch him stay on this baseball. There's the sinker coming in, and that's what you do. If you're right-handed, you try and stay on it. That's really a picture perfect swing as a righty facing a right-handed sinker baller trying to throw it in, and you can see how the hands just let it go the other way. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Not an easy thing to do.
Tied him up. Good pitch. Josh Harrison is an Ohio guy. Born in Cincinnati, went to Princeton High School. Played for the Bearcats at the University of Cincinnati. His name's all over the Bearcats record books. Originally a 6th round pick of the Cubs back in '08. Harrison's had some very good years offensively, and you have to wonder what it was that made Chicago include him in the deal for Tom Gorzelani and John Grabo. Obviously, they were desperate for some pitching, and then the Pirates insisted on Harrison being in that trade, and it's worked out very, very well for them.
It certainly has.
I wonder if he's another one of those guys, though, a little bit like Jose Ramirez at 5'8". Maybe he doesn't pass the eye test for some people.
Well, could be, but I'll tell you what, the little men in baseball right now are swinging bats as well as anybody across the league.
Second time in the inning, Dan Otero has eaten up a Pirates hitter with that good moving fastball. He did it to Josh Bell, and now he does it to Josh Harrison.
Yeah, he elevated this one, and you could see the movement running in. It was off the plate. It was not a strike, and it really tied him up. And there's not much you could do with that pitch there. It was a ball. You have to take it.
Jordy Mercer struck out his first time up. There's that fastball moving in. He takes it for ball one. In off the plate, 2-0. To third. Ramirez will go the long way to first. And Alonso scoops it out to retire the side. Bottom of the third coming up, 7-1 Pittsburgh. looking for some double parrot action.
Well, if that's going to happen, then get a couple guys on in front of him.
Francisco Lindor leads off the third, takes a called strike. He doubled and scored the Indians' only run in the first. 87 runs scored for Frankie. Tops in the American League, and I believe still the most in all of baseball. Check the National
Oh yeah,
League.
you don't come up that, you don't score as many as this guy has. It's not an easy thing. He makes it look easy.
Yeah, he scored 11 more runs than Charlie Blackmon of the Rockies.
It's going to be a while for him. He could stay idle for a while. Hopefully he doesn't, to catch up. But that's a boatload of runs scored.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Big bouncer to second base. Josh Harrison will throw him out. 1 down.
Well, get KeyBank Kids tickets starting at $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets are located in the family deck area at the ballpark and are only available at Indians.com/kids ticket.
Joe Musgrove was originally a first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2011. He was supplemental first-rounder, so 46th overall pick. But just 1 year later, the Astros made a pretty good deal. They sent Brandon Lyon and Jay Happ to the Blue Jays, along with Ben Francisco, former Indian. They got Francisco Cordero, Asher Wojciechowski, and Joe Musgrove. And then they turn around and spun him off to get Garrett Cole. So obviously with others involved, but sometimes you look back and you think, how does that sort of lineage work? How do the lines all trickle back? And
sometimes when it's all said and done, you see guys, that get traded throughout their career for a couple of which you think is great players or superstars.
Yeah.
With Cole was the best pitcher obviously in Pittsburgh, although he was treading water over there, but a #1, maybe getting traded helped him get out of that role and became much more comfortable behind Verlander and things like that. But talented guy, no doubt about it.
And think about when Jay Happ was traded, he was very much a guy everybody wanted. Or at least a lot of teams were looking at.
And they're talking about him now at the deadline, as you well know.
What does he go, 35, 36 now?
Yeah, exactly.
Musgrove, on the other hand, just 25 years old, and what a whirlwind for him. I mean, a season ago, he was in and out of the Astros rotation, pitched in the Division Series, the LCS, and the World Series, and won a World Championship. Tonight he's cruising. He has retired 6 straight, and the Pirates lead it 7-1. inning and third pitcher of the night already for the Indians, and it will be Oliver Perez. And the Indians are in one of the situations which last couple of years they had a number of these games where the starter went out early for one reason or another, and the bullpen had to come in and put up zeros. Not an easy thing to do. But we've got a bullpen guy with us now, Jensen Lewis. So, I mean, and on one hand, it's sort of a low-pressure environment because, hey, nobody's really expecting you to go out there and do this.
Kind of the opposite, actually, Matty, because this is where you kind of run and hide in the bathroom because they've already got that big lead, and now all of a sudden they pin their ears back, Arch. I mean, you know as well, you're looking for that first good fastball, first good pitch to hit up in the zone. So it's almost doubly difficult, if that's even possible. Even though you're getting blown out here, it's still got to find a way to keep your team in a ball game.
Offensively, they're relaxed because they already have the lead.
True,
but you go into this situation as a bullpen guy, you have to put up a zero for your team to win. I mean, you got to feel like if I give up a run, we have no chance.
And the problem is if you fall behind, you get a couple of guys on, your room for error already minuscule as it is, then you got to feed the beast right down the middle.
Jason Kipnis gets rid of it just in time to nab Corey Dickerson. The Indians finally retire the Pirates' leadoff man for the first time tonight. And that brings us to our stat of the game, brought to you by Buick. This Pirates outfield,
look at this,
is on fire.
I mean, in the last 5 games, these guys have been unbelievable. But just look at them: a 17-game hitting streak, a 6-game, 9-game with homers, ribbies. And they hit 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. They're doing damage.
To think at one point, guys, and watching them early in the season, again, they play in the cold conditions just like we did. It's a dreary place on the river there. And knowing that this lineup took almost 2 months to even get going. I mean, they were 14-31 in one stretch of 45 games. Pitching wasn't there. But as soon as Corey Dickerson kind of found a hold atop of this lineup, Gregory Polanco got healthy, Marte came back. It's just like the Indians 1, 2, 3. You put Brantley in the 2 spot, all of a sudden this thing took off. Same thing for the Pittsburgh offense.
They're playing as well as anybody in baseball right now.
On at least 3 different occasions that I'm just doing a quick survey of their season, on at least 3 different occasions they've lost 5 in a row this year. So they've been sort of a hot and cold team for whatever reason. And I think, without having watched them a lot, you'd think maybe starting pitching has something to do with that, because certainly an offense isn't going to run this hot.
Right.
They're going to have their ups and downs too.
Are.
But you would think with the talent that we've seen already in this series, they shouldn't be a team just hovering around the 500.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, we say that because we're catching them at the best time of the year for them. And you're saying, boy, how are these guys just 2 games? Well, it took them 10 games in a row to get over the 500 mark.
It's when you play them, right?
That's right. The timing of this is not good right now for us.
Well, and it goes back to what you were saying. When forget about the bullpen situation. When you're just going into a game against a team that's this hot, they're playing free and easy, almost like with house money. And so when things go their way early, they feed off of it. And they just feel like they're invincible right now.
And last night it was a game of errors that let them take a 4-run lead, and then they just relaxed and said, okay. Because going into it, I guarantee they didn't expect to score off Corey Kluber. That was their mindset as a team.
And you watch how that inning spiraled out of control, Arch, and how a pitching sequence can change when you give a team extra outs that's this hot. I know you guys talked about it last night. When you have your ace on the hill, how many times has Corey Kluber bailed out the defense? Probably too much to remember.
Yeah.
But when things aren't going well, those mistakes get magnified. Case in point again tonight, early in the ball game, chance to turn a double play. You can't assume it, but it doesn't happen. All right, Shane Bieber's got to try and pick you up. You get a fly ball to center. Maybe 9 times out of 10 that play gets made.
It should be made. It should be made.
But now you got 5 runs with 2 outs. That's where it really sticks the dagger in the side. Absolutely.
Right now, Gregory Polanco with a 2-1 count, and he hit one off of his foot. Perez thought it was in play. He went tumbling after it.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, somersaulted there right through.
As hard as they're hitting the ball, you hit one off your own leg, you're taking your life in danger.
Well, Arch, I think something to watch, and this is the unique part about perspective. You take one more look. Ouch, that one hurt. Oh. For a pitcher, when you're behind like this, Matty, you kind of alluded to it from the bullpen coming in. the strike zone becomes different and your sequencing becomes different of how you can pitch guys, especially top of the order where they're going so well. So you look at Perez and you look at the guys that are going to come in here, you still want to establish your fastball and get to your off speed, but it'll be interesting how they sequence moving forward.
Ali throws a fastball by Polanco. He strikes out a pair. The Pirates go in order for the first time tonight. Drive to success. Interleague homers among active players. Edwin Encarnacion sitting third behind Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, nice names on that leaderboard. Pujols leads the way.
Jordan Luplow has taken over for Corey Dickerson.
Oh,
That's
wow.
interesting. I wonder if something may have happened to Dickerson. Edwin had a base hit his first time up.
Good to see him back in. Obviously a big scare with him getting hit on the hand, but you're trying to nurse him through a couple of off days. And sharp single first time up
on an 0-2 pitch. Yeah, he's ready. He said sometimes it's just a little sore from what Andre tells us. You know, you'll see him let go of the bat and he feels a little pressure with it, but he's okay to hit.
Just don't need him sliding into second rolling ankles this year. Need him healthy in October.
And a foul right back. 1-2 the count. Neil Ramirez getting loose now.
You guys may have touched on this already, but how fortuitous is it now that that game gets called last night in 6 innings? You know, because you were into the bullpen at that point too.
Yeah.
You get a bullpen day almost today.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And with a quick turnaround, day game tomorrow.
Right. Well, now Bauer can campaign since he didn't, you know, have too much on his first start on Friday. Yeah, it was in Texas, 100-degree heat, but now he can campaign to go on those 110s, 120s.
Well,
Edwin launches one high and deep and gone to Souvenir City.
Good graphic put up, boys. They put it up, add one to it, and they're going to show it again.
Edwin's 23rd home run of the season. RBI number 69. It gets the Indians a run closer at 7-2.
We showed that guy that had the Parrots on his shoulder out there. I said, get a couple guys on for him. And
there you go.
There they go. But it's a solo shot because he had to lead this inning off. It's a cut fastball.
Oh, cement mixer just hangs right over
Boom.
the middle.
See ya.
Tell you what, you can get away, middle away with that arch because sometimes it'll drop enough to get on the end of the bat, but you put that middle in and nowhere for that thing to go except a long way.
It stays flat unless it's way in. backup. And look at it from the camera in center field. It just stays right there, and it's like a batting practice fastball is what it is.
Yonder Alonso rolls over on one away.
It's always a priceless reaction from the pitcher. You don't even turn back and look. You knew it when it left your hand. Thanks, I'll take another one. Don't even worry about it.
Thanks, I'll have another. Give me another. Oh, bartender. Well, unless you want to see how far it's going to go. And he didn't hit that one that good. He just hit, he knew it was good enough to go.
You kind of know, especially pitch selection wise, and you feel, all right, I got good stuff tonight. You know you're sending it in there, and especially the guy in the middle, and different sound. I mean, you know as well as anybody, or different sound off the bat. You know, when you catch it firm and you catch it center cut, boy, oh boy.
Melky Cabrera. A base hit his first time up.
But you have Musgrove too, guys, pitching to the scoreboard. You know, you hear Tito talk about starters that do that. He's just trying to get these kind of lazy ground balls.
2 down. Little PFP for Musgrove here in the 4th inning.
Batting down for the Tribe, number 22,
Not 100, huh?
No, 96. That's really, that's.
Went over the fence, didn't it?
That's all that counts. We can show you all the numbers we want to show you, but if it gets into that first row, it counts as a homer.
Bodies all over the ground out there scrambling for that Suvi.
A nice job setting up out there. Those new stands and the tabletops out there. Remember that used to be wide open?
Yes,
2 years ago?
Yeah.
They've done a nice job adding on.
Before we left for the break, might have been that last game on the Sunday. I think it was the day game. Somebody hit one up there, and there was a lady standing on one of those high tops. That thing hit right on the tabletop and scared the daylights out of her. Had no idea that baseball was coming in hot.
Nobody told her incoming.
Yeah.
Well, she's not on her phone. That's good.
No, she
Can't
wasn't
blame
on her phone.
Good.
There's a ball right through the hole with the shift on for Jason Kipnis. 5th hit of the night for Cleveland.
Well, they're expecting him to roll over on this. They have 3 over on the right side, and there it is, empty space. Don't have to hit it hard when they're defending you that way.
And up comes Yan Gomes, who fouled out to first. His first time up. Pirates go 3-man shift on the left side of the infield for Gomes.
You guys been around on the road for the first half of the season. Are you surprised at how many shifts now? I know we're in kind of the age where it happens a lot, but we've seen for Brantley now a bunch on the right side, Gomes now here on the left side, just all the time through the game, not in certain situations anymore.
I guess I'm used to it now. You know, I'll tell you what, it's rare when you don't see a shift. You know, you go out there.
Seems to go by organization too, or who's on the mound and how they pitch. I mean, we've seen, as you say, some teams shift a lot, and then we've seen teams that just
play it straight up.
Just don't really shift that much. Occasionally they will, but a lot of teams play Michael Brantley straight up. Very few shifts for him.
I guess as a reliever, being more sensitive because situations you're coming in with guys on.
Musgrove slipped, and I don't know if he hurt himself or not. No, I guess not.
Nah, he's an athlete.
Just looked like he was limping around initially, but he makes the play. The inning's over, but the Indians get a run closer. Edwin goes yard. 7-2 Pittsburgh.
Shoulder out there.
The 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. 7-2 Pittsburgh as we go to the 5th inning. She's maintaining a positive outlook here.
Good job, young champion. She's hanging in.
Eye black on, got her little
foam
hand
finger.
Waving. That's right.
Neil Ramirez will be the 4th pitcher of the night for Cleveland as he comes on to work the 5th with 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Pittsburgh.
Again, you got to run. I know you're down 5, but it is a shutdown inning. Try and keep some good mojo going for you. Get your offense back in the dugout as quick as you can.
They all have to be shut down innings now.
Diaz flied to center in the 1st. He grounded to 3rd in the 2nd inning. He came in with 12 hits in his last 9 road games. And 8 of those 12 hits for extra bases.
This guy's a nice little player.
Yeah.
I had a chance to see him early in the 1st half of the season. He and Cervelli still dealing with the concussion issues, but really good behind the plate, calls a good game. You know, some of the guys, some of the pitchers for the Pirates saying he's kind of come a little bit quicker than they thought as far as his game calling. So good duo they've got there in Pittsburgh.
Softly served to right. That'll get down for a hit. And that is the 10th hit of the night for Pittsburgh. Mid-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. 2 batters in. It was 2-0 Pittsburgh. Starling Marte with his 16th home run of the year. Then in the 2nd inning, a misplay in center field by Naquin turned into a 2-run triple. 2 batters later, a 2-run homer by Gregory Alonco.
All those runs with 2 outs.
Yes.
That's your backbreaker, as you talked about, Arch. You get out of that, it's a 2-1 game. Who knows where we are at that point?
Well, I know. I mean, it's the little things, you know, that when it happens like that, now you start reflecting back on every little possible thing that, you know, you could have went right. That's too late. It has to be done. You got to shut them down. They're a hot team, and you can't give them any extra outs, period.
Colin Moran struck out in the 1st, singled in the 3rd.
I guess that's the thing we look forward at now, since we are in the Central Division. I know you still got to play out the games and finish, but you look at a postseason scenario, those plays, and even the start of this 2nd half, Matty, where a double play that perhaps if that's turned, it changes the complexion of an inning. Okay, that doesn't happen. The play in center field. If you're playing the likes of the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Astros, Mariners, Oakland, whoever it's going to be, those teams are elite teams in the back ends of their bullpens, and you make a mistake like that, you're down. This is it, you know, and you don't just have all the time in the world in the postseason to be able to make a comeback like that.
Well, you can't barely do it in the regular season when you're facing a team that's hot or good teams.
No balls and 2 strikes. Down and in.
He said, I already hit one off my ankle. I'm not swinging at another one.
No.
They go right back down in there, don't
Yes.
they?
It's because you pitchers are evil, aren't you?
I'll tell you what, that's where the catcher tries to catch that ball and send it back out before they can give you a new one. You get a nice little scuff mark on there, get you a cut you never found.
You like that one? Have another.
Pop back out of play.
All of a sudden, Moran thinks he's swinging at a wiffle ball instead of a 2-seamer. He's been a good little player too, coming over, you know, with Musgrove. And I understand you send Garrett Cole and you want to try and get a big haul back, but Musgrove's been pretty good for them this season. Moran, he's finally kind of found a spot in this lineup.
They start coming into their own. They
Yeah.
need an opportunity where they didn't have one with another organization.
Just outside 2-2.
You know, and Cole's gone over there and took off.
Gosh,
you know,
boy,
when
is
he
ever.
went in the start of the year, he was like the best pitcher on the planet.
Yeah.
And, you know, so everyone says, oh, my God, look what they gave away. So, I mean, to put a little more pressure, just relax. It's going to get back to it.
Well, Tyone, who we're going to see tomorrow afternoon, kind of the incumbent ace at this point with Cole gone, he's got a great arsenal, only a few years removed from the draft. And they thought that Cole and Tyone were going to be that 1-2 punch if Cole could finally put it together.
Two balls, two strikes, the count for Colin Moran. And he struck him out. Nice pitch by Neil Ramirez, one away.
Well, this is what you're talking about when you're talking extra outs, and that's not considered an error, but a play that's got to be made. And that was last night going into that one inning. Tonight, there's a ball, it's 2 outs. You extend the inning, give them opportunities, they take advantage of it.
You look at defenses that win championships and making routine plays. And the last couple of nights, again, a double play is not a routine play by any stretch of the imagination. You get funny hops, you get hard hit balls, but you do it so many times and you're at the big league level, Arch, that these are expectations on these certain plays.
Ouch.
Josh Bell goes boom. A 2-run homer for the big switch hitting first baseman. And the Pirates lead is now 9-2.
And that one was a bomb.
Bad spot of the plate too.
Well, he slowed it down, and you know he's been hitting anything the other way with fastballs, and now you throw a fastball down and into the wheelhouse of a left-hander. And this one, wow, look at it, he just elevated it.
That's where that last round of BP you're looking at, saying, all right, here's why I like it. That's exactly where Josh Bell likes it.
Third home run tonight for the Pirates.
They have been a monster hitting the home run ball here of late.
What, 21 homers on the winning streak at this point? I think 20 homers now. What, 22 now in their last 11 games? It's something ridiculous.
Yeah, they're on a roll. They're on a big roll.
And it's all up and down the lineup too. It's not like it's just the big three up top. They've been hammering them in all different spots. Bell, this was a guy that in the middle of their lineup they thought was going to be a fixture. He had struggled out of the gate this year, and they were, Clint Hurdle, trying to find, just like Terry Francona was, the top of this lineup. What are the pieces that we can put in place to get this engine going?
Yeah, that's 22 homers now talking
22.
about in their streak.
Yeah.
Now that I see it, yes. As they say it, cannonball's coming. That's how they
inbound.
Yes.
Well, in the last 8 games, 21 of those home runs have been hit. And 8 players have accounted for those 21 home runs. Marte has hit 5. Polanco has hit 4. Dickerson's hit 5. Sean Rodriguez hit a couple. Luplo's hit 2. Max Moroff, who they just sent back, hit 1. Josh Harrison, and now Josh Bell. Wow.
Somebody different.
Yeah, I mean, they've spread it around.
You got to get production from your stars. No different from any other team that's playing well. And that's certainly been Polanco and Marte carrying the day. Well, you get contributions, especially from the bottom half. Harrison hits a big homer off Kluber. That's a huge boost to your ball club, especially on a winning streak. And let's face it, Matty, I mean, we expect some aggression at some point, with Oliver Perez and Neil Ramirez. I mean, for a while there, this was the guy. I mean, he was shouldering a monster load in the setup role. That's where I think after the acquisition of Hand and Simber, and once Andrew Miller, hopefully he's back next week or whenever he is, that'll be the interesting part of how Tito plays the roles out for the rest of the season, getting guys ready for the postseason where he wants to plug guys in.
Ground ball to short. Lindor cuts it off. Throws him out. Halfway through. Pittsburgh's big bats making a lot of noise tonight. They've gone yard 3 times. They lead it 9-2.
Sports Time Ohio Kidcaster. We'll be recording kids' questions and we'll air the best ones during an upcoming Indians live show.
Beautiful. Kids caster.
We already had a good kids caster question this past pregame where we had a kid ask what is Al Pulowski's favorite pocket square to wear.
You're kidding.
And he said,
well,
I don't wear pocket squares, sir.
Yes, he might have been, the kid might have been put up to it. Cannot confirm or deny that. Maybe we'll get Eddie Tamba to investigate that, but.
I have a feeling I know how it got started.
Tyler Naquin struck out in the second inning. And he bounces one to Josh Bell, one down. Top of the order, Frankie Lindor. He doubled and scored in the first, grounded out his last time up.
And I knew we were talking in the break before I came on here. It sounds like as the Indians made the first move, at least the first big move on the bullpen front, sounds like the Yankees might be close to getting Zach Britton from the Orioles. You talk about how postseasons are changing.
Yeah.
Lengthening your bullpen, and a Yankees bullpen that's pretty long right now. In that game at Keepaway where the Red Sox were possibly in discussions to get him. You would think that they would need a starter, the Yankees would. It sounds like Brian Cashman may be going in a different direction.
Is that because he doesn't want anybody else to get Britton?
I think that's probably a part of it. But, you know, we even saw with Tomlin in 2016 where Tito said, I don't want an opposing offense to see him the third time around. And you look at that Yankees rotation. Severino is kind of the outlier there. Tanaka, third time around the order, who knows? Sabathia,
right.
Sonny Gray.
Right.
And perhaps that's where he's
well,
looking
anybody
at.
when you get to the playoffs, everything's so magnified.
Back goes Marte to pull that down. 2 away. Joe Musgrove has been in some kind of groove tonight. 16 of 19 first pitch strikes. So he's been ahead. He's gone to school on these Indians hitters. And for a young guy who doesn't have a ton of experience, and again, I know this is, it probably falls on deaf ears for people who are Pirates fans when you trade away Garrett Cole, but this is not a bad building block for their future.
And Terry Francona talked about that in the press conference today. This was a guy that's not going to beat himself. He's going to pound the zone. He's got really good swing and miss stuff. We've kind of seen that tonight, and he gets a lot of those right there.
Another 1-2-3 inning. The second one of those tonight. And through 5, it's 9-2 Pittsburgh.
GMC. I will talk about the new Indians bullpen with Brad Hand and Adam Simber. We'll have your kidcasters who have asked some pretty interesting questions of their favorite Indians. The GMC plays of the first half will be on display as well. Catch it all tonight right after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio.
Jordy Mercer going to lead off for the Pirates here in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Looks at a fastball from Neil Ramirez for strike 1. Brandon Geyer takes over in left for Michael Brantley. And Mercer just smacks one into left field. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk.
The hand, foot, and mouth disease, fellas.
What?
So Noah Syndergaard was doing a kids camp over the All-Star break, and apparently, I don't know if he put his hands by his mouth or rubbed his eyes after he was using the balls that the young kids were doing. I don't think Purell is going to reach out to him for a sponsorship anytime soon, but that's a bad one for them. That's the Mets, another Mets injury, right? Mets being the Mets.
That's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
You didn't think so, huh? Go to school. Yeah, go to like grade school. You'll have. That's where you get it.
But you think about it now, okay? So I guess they had to tell the Mets beat reporters and the people covering the team to be careful because you can spread it very easily in the clubhouse. So if I'm a pitcher or anybody in there, you got to get rid of the BP balls. You got to get rid of the bullpen balls because who knows what he's touched, right? What a disaster, man. Can it get any worse for them? I guess it would if DeGrom gets traded.
Well, it wouldn't matter then.
Then it's
They've
over.
already hit rock bottom.
The white flag is out.
Jordan Luplow's first at bat tonight. He took over for Corey Dickerson. We're not sure what happened to Dickerson. He doubled, he tripled. He's got 2 runs batted in, 2 runs scored, but grounded out his last time up. Not sure if something happened while he was running to first base or not.
He's been a great piece atop that lineup. You wonder now if you're Neil Huntington in that front office, you are probably at the worst point you can be as a GM before the trade deadline because you've made the run, you're back in it, you've won 10 in a row. You're what, 3 or 4 games out of the second wild card in the National League.
That's a tough spot to be in.
You've got an incredible trade chip as their closer, Felipe Vasquez, who probably could have netted them a pretty nice haul.
Well, let me ask you something. Then I mean, and everybody feels that way because they're playing so well right now. Is there any one guy that would get them over the hump and make them say, "Oh, they're right there, they're contenders"? I guess.
Do
you think one guy?
I guess if you look at their rotation, maybe you can always add more starting pitching. But
well, yeah, give them DeGrom and then maybe.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm saying one guy isn't gonna. I don't think push him over the top. I mean, they've struggled for a while up until this hot streak. You know what comes after hot streaks, don't you?
Yeah, the ultimate.
Yeah, then you go back down. You start going down the ride.
Tough spot to be in.
Yeah, it really is. It's pretty out there.
2-2 pitch in the dirt.
And you look at that remaining schedule, Matty, what Pittsburgh would have to go through because you're going to play your division. You got front-running Chicago. Milwaukee is challenging for the division. The Cardinals are still going to try and do something.
And they're always going to be play it tough.
They're always going to try and do it. If they don't kick the ball around like they've done, their defense has been historically bad this year.
Yeah, well, during their winning streak, though, they beat the Brewers 5 straight games before the break.
Right.
And then they went into Cincinnati and then slapped them around, you know, so who knows?
And they've got 6 left with Atlanta.
Wow. That's in September?
No, but it's coming up here.
Let's see. Right here in August?
Yeah, end of August and then into the first part of September they go down to Atlanta.
Wow.
So, yeah, they've got a tough road ahead of them, no doubt. They do have 3 left with Kansas City. They have dominated the American League Central Division this year.
You know, the funny thing is, be careful.
He comfortable in the box right now? I think so.
I'll tell you what, he just fouled that bat. That's about the only one they missed and fouled off. He's been hitting everything in sight. You know, you look at the schedule, you say, well, they're playing these guys. You give them wins. You can't give anybody a win when you're going down the second half. good teams or not, if you're playing well, you can match up with anybody, but can you maintain it for 2 months?
The 0-1. I don't know if this happens or not, but we always hear about it. You know, when you see your team every day, you see all the blemishes.
Right? Sure you do.
When you see a team once, like the Pirates or whoever it is,
whoever's
they come
playing
in,
well,
you tend to fall in love with their guys when they're playing well. Oh, that guy's great. This guy's great.
Cincinnati was just in here, right?
You know, and that's where I think there's a smash to Lindor, to Kipnis, on to first, a double play. And I think that's where sometimes you can maybe, at least as an amateur GM, you can make mistakes on saying, well, we traded for that guy and we got rid of this guy, you know, and I can't imagine with as much as that is invested in these teams that organizations would make a mistake of saying, well, we just saw so-and-so, he's red hot, we should trade for him.
no, they wouldn't do that.
Think about Minnesota last year. Remember when they got Jaime Garcia, and then all of a sudden in 7 days you had to flip him to the Yankees.
Yeah,
that was bizarre.
That's kind of, is that not maybe similar to where the Pirates are? Because they were playing really well into that stretch, thinking, okay, we got a chance to stay in this thing. We need a little more depth starting pitching wise because we know what the Indians have in their rotation. They're going to make a move too. Do we find somebody that can keep us in the race?
I think you have to stay with what you have and see what's going on.
Probably roll the dice with them.
And see what's going on. You still go through waivers and get somebody after the July 31st trade deadline. So what's the big deal? That's when we got Jay Bruce last year. After that.
Gregory Polanco
you can't fall into the old trap of I'm going to give up something that we really liked to try and go for it. Now you could. I don't know. It's really risky.
Let's say that, Matty, this stays the way it is. Pittsburgh gets a chance to go for the sweep. They lose tomorrow. You talked about it. What happens after the big winning streak? You have the losing streak. Trade deadline's next Tuesday. You know, you lose 4 or 5 going in it. Does it all of a sudden change? If teams win a few in front of you, instead of being 3 out, you're 6 out.
It all depends on when those deals come together.
Right.
You can't time that. You know, if somebody comes to you or you go to somebody and say, what about this? And you have the framework for a deal, you can't say, give me a couple days and let me see how my team goes. Yeah. You've got to either pull the trigger or walk
15
away.
minutes. Let me get back to you.
A 1-2 pitch. Polanco goes down hacking. Neil Ramirez with a scoreless 6. It's 9-2 Pittsburgh. Encarnacion and Yonder Alonso for the Indians against Joe Musgrove. By the way, they tell us that Corey Dickerson left the game with a left hamstring discomfort.
Well, it's not 110 degrees to dry you out, but it is a little muggy.
Yeah.
You guys, I don't know how you did it down there. If you had the windows open or not, God bless you.
It was hot, but I will say that even as searing as that heat can be, and now granted, we're in a booth, we aren't directly in the sun.
Yeah.
Like on Sunday, that had to be tough for the players when you're standing out in it.
Oh, I remember the old bullpens out there when it was the oven. I mean, you were in. Speaking of cement, I mean that you couldn't touch anything. You were burnt.
But I will say this: there's something about there wasn't a lot of humidity. Humidity is insufferable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jose Ramirez draws a walk. Indians get their leadoff man aboard. T-Mobile, built for baseball. Edwin Encarnacion, goodbye. 23 on the year, 69 runs batted in, and what do we say, 51 interleague home runs?
That is correct.
Now. Yep. Also say too, guys, I know he started hot in the home run department, maybe not so much in the average in RBIs, but Art, you see it every year. You look up, it'll be 30, it'll be 100, and some bonus points on top.
Well, he's in the right place when you're sitting behind guys like Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez. They're always going to be on the pillows.
Yeah,
man.
He's got two potential MVP candidates sitting right in front of him.
Right, and they create a lot of havoc on the bases. Extra base hits are always in scoring position, so he should have that many RBIs.
I'll be interested. I know we still have to play Boston 7 times.
That'll bring rain.
That's way up.
Look at that.
I love it.
Look at I do too.
I love it.
I loved it too. After
Musgrove, the pitcher,
made,
was coming after
he
it.
was calling him off. He was not going to let it drop. He made that play early in the ball game on Brantley.
You think about it in spring training when they put the Ponza machine out there and they shoot that, because the catcher's got to go turn around and settle. Now, the pitcher's coming in. It's a backspin. He's almost in a better fielding position because he's coming into it. But that's funny. That's a great exchange right there.
You better catch it. I'm going to punch you because I could have caught it.
That's a fine in K-Court if they hit each other and that one drops between them. That's for sure.
I just like the aggressiveness. He wants to come in and catch it. Most of the time you say, stay there.
I want to see the high school game films of Musgrove playing offensive and defensive line.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
At 6'5", of course, I don't know if he was 6'5" in high school, but
you got to have at least some growth spurt there to get you set up for later in life.
Murph told me he was 6'5" in kindergarten.
Well, it's funny you say that because Josh Bell, the first baseman, his dad had a bat in his hand when he was 5 years old. And he said my dad had me switch hitting when I was 5 years old. So before he was even playing competitive pitch baseball.
Andre wondered how they let him get away.
His dad
down
was
there in Texas.
His dad was a football player, and he said, no, you're going to play baseball. Jose Ramirez was trying to run away, and Ramirez is going to be out.
Yeah, he's out of the line.
He stayed alive long enough for Alonso to reach to keep the inning.
Yeah, he did. He did it. If I was out, I'd just flipped it to Mercer, flip it to second base. You've got Alonso running. You got to know who's running.
Well, that and know
he
that
couldn't. There was nobody there.
Gotcha.
He was in front.
I was going to say, if you knew that he stopped right there, because you have to play in front of you, kind of have that backhand and then be able to send it. But yeah, no one there at second.
There was no. I thought he had a chance, and he wasn't close enough to step on the bag. That's why he ran at the runner.
Looks like we're getting a little precipitation.
Yeah, we got some sprinkles. Go
Where'd
figure.
that come from?
Get them out now because we got a day game we got to get in tomorrow, boys.
That is a fact.
Melky Cabrera, 1 on, 2 out, and he's 1 for 2 tonight.
All right, so I know we're talking about physical guys here, and as we're getting ready to talk about, you guys are going to see Boston. We're going to see him 7 times. You talk about dueling MVP candidates with Lindor and Ramirez. It's going to be awesome to see Betts and JD Martinez.
Oh, yeah, right. Betts is another guy built the stature like Lindor, Ramirez. These guys, they hit the ball so hard and they hit extra base hits are incredible.
Martinez hit his 31st tonight.
Oh, he hit back-to-back? He hit 2 in that game?
I know Mookie hit one, and I know JD hit one in the first inning.
That was his 30th.
Okay, 30th or 30th. Either way.
Line to deep left back, and making the catch is Luplow, and the inning is over. We've played 6. See you on Indians Live afterwards.
You got it, boys. Stay dry.
All right, Judson. Thanks.
9-2 Pittsburgh. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Well, Pittsburgh has continued to hammer the baseball in this series. 3 home runs tonight, all of them crooked number homers. 2-run shot in the first, 2-run shot in the second, 2-run shot in the fifth. And the 5th Indians pitcher of the night is left-hander Brad Hand. Elias Diaz will lead off for Pittsburgh. And he singles into right field on the first pitch he sees. He's got 2 hits tonight.
Now to the plate.
Well, we're right back here tomorrow to wrap up the homestand. Trevor Bauer goes for the Tribe. Jameson Tyone will go for Pittsburgh. Our coverage begins at 12:30 with Indians Live. First action just after 1 right here on Sports Time Ohio, or streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Colin Moran 1 for 3 tonight. He swings at the first pitch. Lindor calls off Geyer. 1 away.
To the plate now for Pittsburgh.
And up comes Josh Bell. .62, 230. Yeah, his dad was a track star and a wide receiver at Southern University.
But was his dad as big as he was?
I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. But it was his dad who said, no football. I play basketball, baseball.
A pretty smart guy.
You know, and you read some of the stories, it almost sounds like one of those dads who's, you know, maybe a little over the top. But Josh says, no, my dad never, ever once pushed me.
Yeah.
It was just there. He's like, hey, here's a bat. Let's learn how to switch hit.
And enjoy it. Yeah, and taught him the right way.
But he never forced it on him and said, you have to do this, you have to do that. But he just told him, no football. I know Andre's down there. He's cringing right
Well,
now.
I'm sure a lot of people would cringe at that, but it's only out of concern for his son. He wanted him to stay healthy and have a long life.
It's funny you say that, because now that I have a son and he's years away,
Yeah.
I love football and I love everything it did for my life and what it did for me. But if your heart ain't in it, it ain't the sport to play. And when the things that we're learning about CTE and other things of that nature,
It makes it harder, doesn't it?
it really does. And I love the game and I love everything about it. But I do pause at it a little bit right now.
Well, we'll see when little Taz gets ready to see if he likes it.
Little Taz, he gets as big as Bell.
Well, then you're going to say go play.
No, I'm going to be like his dad, though. I'm going to make sure he can hit both sides first.
Well,
that's true.
The other thing, too, with Bell is that his parents, you know, his mom and dad were a very important part of his life. His mom was an educator. She's a professor at the University of Texas Arlington. His dad, you know, was big on education. So, and this kid was raised properly with great parental guidance.
Right. You know, and being honest about the Pirates, they're going to try to build around this kid, too. When you talk to them, this is one of their guys that they want to build around and make their team about, and some of those outfielders that they have. And he may be the perfect, you know, guy to put in the middle of who they want to be.
Right now, Brad Hand trying to take care of Bell with his 2-2 pitch. And he just spit on a good breaking ball down low, full count. But again, this is something we talked about earlier. When you get out to the big lead and you're playing relaxed, it's a little bit easier to go up there offensively and take some tough pitches that otherwise you might be gripping the bat a little tighter and you might chase after him in a closer game.
Do you ever hear the old saying, free and easy?
Yeah.
Just be free and easy. Well, you can be free and easy when you have a lead.
Here's a double play ball. Lindor to Kipnis on the first. 2 for 1. Brad Hand, a scoreless 7th. Stretch time in Cleveland. But the Pirates still lead by 7.
Clinics Children's is the official fan club of the Indians for kids 6 to 14. Memberships are $20 and they include invitations to exclusive events and tribe gear. Visit Indians.com for more information.
Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Indians are down 7. Jason Kipnis, Jan Gomes, Tyler Naquin for the Indians. Joe Musgrove misses with a fastball. That ball went over the screen. It hit the back bench and came back and drilled Trevor Williams in the side. The guy who started last night's game for Pittsburgh. He's like, how in the world can that happen? The 1-2. And strike 3 called. Though it looked as though that pitch was off the plate. Second strikeout for Musgrove tonight. Watch this. It goes over the railing, hits the bench, and ricochets back and hits him. Jan Gomes 0 for 2 tonight. He is fouled out and tapped one back to the mound. Let's go down to Andre.
I heard you guys talking about Pittsburgh and just what could make them better. I think they're built like the perfect small market team, but I asked Tito before the game tonight just about their pitchers and what their pitchers have been able to do, because they don't have a household name, right? I mean, out of the starters, they don't have a household name. And he goes, well, all their pitchers are below hits per inning. Their bullpen is tough. He said they all average about a K per game, and the walks are down. They don't walk a lot of guys. So I think it's easy for people to say they're just average pitchers, but Arch, they kind of do what's needed to be done until they get to their bullpen that's really good.
Yeah, their bullpen has been pitching well. They've got a very good closer.
I know they don't have the big stud.
No, but, I mean, all their starters, we talked about it last night, there were about 500 pitchers, but they got off to a slow start, and you know, they're throwing the ball very well here because they're scoring a lot of runs for them.
I think that's what they've done throughout this winning streak. They jump teams early and let these guys settle in. But it's how they have to win with the way their team is set up is my point.
Well, it'll be interesting to see after they leave here how they continue.
You know, and Andre, I think that's going to be the biggest key for the Pirates to have any shot. As hot as they've been on this win streak, they have to avoid the skids.
Right.
And you can't have any more 5-game losing streaks when you're playing catch up.
Right.
No, you're right.
That's right. You got to go out there. You have to win series.
Well, the way they're rolling, I shouldn't say this name. They're like Ben Roethlisberger. They can't lose to Ohio. They've rolled through Ohio on this trip so far.
They've rolled through the Central Division.
They really have.
Forget Ohio. They've beaten up on the American League Central.
Chicago, Kansas City, Minnesota.
Every one of them. Looking to go 12-2, looking to win their 8th straight against an American League team.
And the funny thing about winning streaks, you know, we've seen it the last 2 years. People think that, you know, they're going to lose eventually. I mean, it will come to an end, but just how soon is anybody's guess.
Back to center field along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Boy, seems like last night's theme and this night's theme are pretty similar. Second inning, defensive lapses, gave the Pirates a big lead, and right now that's been the difference.
You give Pirates offense like this that's rolling, extra outs, and they burn you. It's back-to-back nights where the Indians defense has let them down.
We'll break it down after the game on Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Back upstairs we go. Here are Matt and Rick.
Thanks, Al. Jensen, we'll see you guys shortly. Adam Cimber is coming on to pitch now for the Indians, and he is the 6th Indians pitcher to work here tonight. In case maybe you joined us late, Shane Bieber got the start. He lasted just an inning and 2/3. 7 runs, 7 hits, a couple of home runs. Pirates led 7-1 after 2 innings. Roberto Perez has come on defensively now for Yan Gomes. And Eric Gonzalez is in for Lindor at short. David Freese leads off. He is 1 for 3 on the night. Brad Hand with a scoreless 7th inning. Cimber, for those of you who may have missed the news around the trading deadline, the big acquisition was Brad Hand, who pitched last inning, but Adam Cimber came with Brad Hand from San Diego, and he's got an unusual sidearm, almost underhand delivery. He's one of those guys, Rick, he might scrape his knuckles on the dirt once in a while.
You're right, from where he comes from, right. Not overpowering from under there, about 85, 86 miles an hour, but you're relying on movement, deception. See how he's closed when he comes set, trying to just keep that ball hidden as long as he can. Make it a little tougher for the hitter to pick it up.
Right down the middle of the plate, but not called. 2-2. It almost looks uncomfortable when he comes set. It almost looks like his body's contorted into a pretzel. A little low, maybe.
Yeah, it was low. Baltimore has Darren O'Day, and he looked at what film of him. There you go, run one in on the hands. See if you can take a look. This is from behind the home plate. You see how that ball comes in? It looks like it's coming up to you from where he throws.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's coming up. It's like slow pitch softball or fast pitch, let's say.
Right.
Well, talking to the bullpen catchers is what I went and did. And, Ricky Passion said he throws a lot of strikes. He goes, but there's a lot of points and times where you just don't see where the ball's coming from. It jumps out at you out of nowhere.
Josh Harrison bounces out to third base, 2 away.
So I asked Cimber where it came from, and he just kind of looked around me and he said, I had to do something different. He said that was where he came to it, and he said once he started working, he started getting guys out. He kind of started, working on it and watching other guys, and that's where the Darren O'Day stuff came from, Arch.
Yeah, usually when guys do that, they're, normal pitchers, they don't have the fastball anymore. They have to create a gimmick and come up with something, to trick the hitters, and that's how a lot of those guys start throwing sidearm or underhand, whether they're right-handed or left-handed.
Well, as a starter, he featured a high leg kick to help generate torque. He says when he became a reliever, he wanted the same effect, but with a quicker time to the plate. So that's where he changed up the kind of his legs, and kind of at the beginning of his set where both of his feet are almost pigeon-toed in a little bit.
Yeah, keep them closed.
But he's been doing this since he was 14 years old, and it's gotten him this far, and he said might as well ride it out. And he did play with Bradley Zimmer in college as well.
It's just funny, I'm watching him pitch, and against the Pirates, I mean, for years, one of the best relievers of the 70s, Kent Tekulve.
Right.
He was one of those almost underhanded side-arming
relievers.
He was
a freak. Yep.
Vin Scully had the best description of Kent Tekulve I've ever heard. He said he's wheeling on a cycle. It looks like a scarecrow wheeling on a unicycle. Spoiled it. For our younger fans, Tekulve was about, what is it, about 6'3", 6'4"?
I'd say 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, he was tall
and about 140 pounds.
Yeah, he was a rail.
Yeah.
The last time we were in Pittsburgh, we got a chance to see him. He was around there, wasn't he? The stadium.
And there's a fly ball, shallow center. In comes Naquin, makes the catch to retire the side in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Back here at Progressive Field, 9-2 Pittsburgh, and as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Pirates go to the bullpen for the first time tonight. Stephen Brault will come on and pitch after Joe Musgrove went 7 innings, allowing just 2 runs on 5 hits. Musgrove only walked 1, struck out a pair.
But very aggressive pitching tonight. Made him swing early. Had a lot of ground balls. Pitched a nice ball game.
By the way, you asked me before the inning ended. We didn't get a chance. Kent Tekulve was doing some TV work for
Pre
the
and
Pirates
post,
when we were there before.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But he has since retired. But he's an Ohio guy, native. Oh, right back to Brault. And Eric Gonzalez is robbed of a potential hit right there. Kent Tekulve pitched collegiately at Marietta College.
Oh, okay, down
yeah.
south. Yes, I know where it was a baseball factory.
Yeah, small school. I mean,
yes,
Division
it
III,
was.
but always competitive. A very good program. You know who else pitched there? Terry Mulholland.
Yes, he did.
Fouled back by Brandon Geyer, who gets his first at bat of the night. I know Andy Pettit was pretty good, but Terry Mulholland had one of the best pickoff moves I've ever seen.
Well, he did, and he helped CC Sabathia when he was here, just at least not with a great pickoff move, but hold them close and don't let runners, get great jumps on you. That's, all part of the game. But Mulholland was just so quick to the plate, and it was like, boom, he had you.
It looked like he was looking one way and throwing the other, and he did it with such accuracy. Geyer crushes one deep to left, and it is gone. Second home run of the night for the Indians, and it's a 9-3 ball game. Geyer's fourth home run of the season.
Oh, he got a fastball up and out over the plate that he liked, and he gave it a ride. Now a 9-3 game, so always nice when you get an opportunity. You can do something when you come into the game.
Jose Ramirez fouls one right back. What do you know? What are the odds of this? Stephen Brault, who was pitching in relief with Joe Musgrove, they went to the same high school. Oh, man. Grossmont High School in El Cajon, California.
El Cajon, okay. It is rare when you can get two players at the major league level go to the same high school. Very rare.
And they're only a year apart, so they
had to play together.
Got to know each other, right? Yeah, play together. I know California produces a lot of major league players. That's got to be pretty rare to have two guys from the same school.
I would think so.
That close together. 2-2 is low. Brault came to the Pirates from Baltimore, and it was he was the old player to be named later when Travis Snyder went from Pittsburgh to the Orioles.
Okay.
Right back to Brault again. 2 down. Hey, let's look back at our storylines brought to you by Ford dealers. Indians defense was a point of emphasis here tonight.
It hurt him again tonight.
Wasn't as glaring, but a couple of miscues cost him early.
Well, it was a big 5-run inning in the second that hurt. And Pittsburgh, they just jumped him early again. 2 in the first, 5 in the second. And that puts you behind the 8 ball. Makes it tough.
Yeah, you can focus on the offense, but kind of like in a boxing match, the other guy comes out and bloodies your nose in the first couple of rounds. It takes the fight out of you.
Yeah, it can.
Pirates about to run their win streak to 11 in a row. That has not happened for the Pirates since 1996. 3-0. Called a strike. And that's ball 4. Yeah, the last time the Pirates had a win streak like that, Jim Leyland was in his final season as skipper of the Pirates, and that happened in the month of September when they had to be way out of it by then. September 12th through the 22nd, late in the season, they reeled off 11 in a row.
Yeah, not what your manager wants to see in a 9-3 game with 2 outs. You want to walk somebody. You got to be aggressive and go at him and pitch to him.
And Yonder Alonso sends one to the right field wall. Edwin will go to third. Alonso will hold with a long single.
Well, after the walk, Alonso was certainly going to sit on a fastball, and he got it. He did not miss it. Hit it hard. It gets to the wall. He's held to a single. And Encarnacion goes to third base. Well, the inning continues, but is this Ray Surge going out? Yeah, I saw where Clint Hurdle was on the phone. He's just going to slow it down, let that bullpen guy get ready, and this may be the last man for Brault. Santana up. He hasn't even thrown yet.
Melky Cabrera is going to be the hitter. You know, this is a problem for managers everywhere in baseball. You have a big lead.
Yeah.
You think, all right, let's get some of these guys some work, and you know it's a no pressure situation. The next thing you know, you get a couple of guys on base, and what you don't want to have happen is get caught with your pants down where you don't know what you're going to do. And so, even though they still have the big lead, you've got to get guys that you didn't want to have to use up in the bullpen now.
And you know what? It happens a lot more than anybody thinks. It happens to everybody. Okay, let's go. You figure, it's nice and easy. There's no pressure, but they walk a couple people. They mix in a base hit here or there, and you're going, wait a minute, this was not supposed to go that way.
One swing of the bat, and all of a sudden this game takes a different complexion altogether. And Melky Cabrera looks at a ball outside. Melky 1 for 3 tonight. He's hit in 5 straight.
He's falling behind again. That's the nice thing now. The Indians hitter, you make that guy come to you.
He's thrown more balls than strikes to this point, not surprisingly. Melky wasn't going to spot him.
Not 2-0 he wasn't. He was looking.
Fastball, he got it.
Yeah, he figured he's got to come to Papa now, and he did. And he just fouled it off.
The 2-1.
Straight back coming into your living room. Watch out. Don't move off the couch. Let it stop rolling and pick it up, and you have a souvenir.
Make sure it doesn't break the lamp. First and third, 2 down, 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count.
Now this is going to be his last pitch. Any way you look at it, I would think, even though Kipnis is on deck.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Would he leave him on the face?
Well,
the left
who
hand?
knows? I mean, we'll see. Should he reach?
Back out of play. Brault's payoff pitch. Broken bat, bouncer to third. And the inning is over. 8 complete. 9-3 Pittsburgh. Starling Marte was the second batter of the game, and he hit a 2-run homer. And then in the second inning, Corey Dickerson hit a 2-run triple. Gregory Polanco with a 2-run homer, and that quickly it was 7-1 Pittsburgh. Cody Allen on the pitch tonight. Top of the order coming for Pittsburgh. Jordan Luplow, Starling Marte, and Gregory Polanco are all due.
And in the top of the ninth, leading off for Pittsburgh, the leadoff hitter, number 47, Jordan Luplow.
It doesn't matter who's hitting in that leadoff spot. Corey Dickerson, Jordan Luplow, they're swinging it.
Well, you come out there, he throws a fastball first pitch. So far in these first 2 games we've witnessed, they can hit the fastball very well. You better locate it.
So the Pirates, with the 3 home runs tonight, have hit 21 home runs in their last 8 games. The most home runs over a 7-game stretch for the Pirates was 19, which they did back in 2003. Second best was an 18-homer stretch over 7 games in 1973, and I wanted to read off some of the names on that list for you.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Enjoy this. Al Oliver hit 4.
Yes.
You played
man.
against him
The
when he was
hit
with
man.
Texas, right?
Yes, I did. The hit man.
Milt May had a couple. Dave Cash had a couple. Rennie Stennett had a pair. Bob Robertson hit 2. Willie Stargell hit 3. Manny Sanguian hit 2, and Richie Hebner. Did you ever play against Richie Hebner?
Yeah, he was with Boston.
masher,
Yes,
too.
yeah, Detroit. Yes.
So here's the crazy thing about that. So that's a 7-game stretch. They hit 18 home runs. Mixed in a 2-hit shutout at the hands of Mike Caldwell of San Diego.
Who I played with in Milwaukee. Mike Caldwell, left-handed pitcher.
So imagine that, though. They were on a tear where they hit 18 home runs in a 7-game stretch. And one of the games they were shut out. Wow. But also, this is also for you. In the last game of the stretch, Don Sutton. No, it wasn't the last game of the stretch, but it was towards the end. May 7th, Don Sutton allowed 5 home runs at Dodger Stadium to the Pirates.
Little cutter that he used to rub his nail on wasn't cutting, was it? Or the old curveball.
But imagine that, Arch. He went the distance. Gave up 5 home runs, but he stayed out there, kept pitching.
Yes. Yeah.
Most guys wouldn't.
Pitch to the game, my friend.
They wouldn't be allowed to stay around long enough to give up 5 home runs.
That was a different game.
Different era, no doubt.
Yeah,
1973.
Yeah, different game. You go out, you finish what you start, or at least try to. And if you only gave up 5 homers,
no, maybe they were. I didn't look. Maybe they were mostly solo shots. I don't.
I'm sure they were.
They probably were.
I'm sure they were. With some of those guys they had in that lineup, yes. Don't put on anybody in front of them.
Gregory Polanco, 1 for 4. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike on Gregory Polanco. There's a guy that he probably could have fit in on some of those lumber company teams that they had in the 70s.
Oh, they could always hit. Pittsburgh always had a team of hitters. No question. You said Al Oliver, the hitman.
No, you know what? Mike Easler was the hitman. Al Oliver, didn't they call him Scoop?
Yeah, Scoop. But
oh, he could hit, though.
Let me tell you something. He was called the hitman by a lot of people.
That is hit to center, but Naquin will backpedal and make the catch. 2 down. Mike Easler, that always rings a bell because he's a local guy. He's from Cleveland.
Right, yes he is. And then ended up in St. Louis.
He was a Benedictine Bengal.
Yeah. Mike Easler, yes, the hitman. He played in Boston. Yes, I remember him well. Yeah, that was his name after that. He came after Oliver.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was definitely after Al.
Yeah.
Did Al Oliver spend most of his career in the American League, or was it?
Well, he started at Pittsburgh, and he spent a lot of time in Texas. And in that heat, think about how hard he hit the ball up that hard turf in Texas.
Well, then you start talking about good hitters that they had. I know he wasn't an original Pirate, but Bill Madlock won a batting title.
Yes, he did.
And he could hit. He could swing at third baseman. Elias Diaz has 2 hits tonight. Chops one wide of third. It's a foul ball.
About the Cobra.
Oh,
could he hit?
Yeah. He won an MVP, didn't he? I think he did.
I'm sure he did.
Maybe he was a co-MVP, but yeah, he was a big man for his era.
Big dude. Well, you know, you're right. In today's game, he'd still be a big man. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. But there's a couple of guys around the game that are as big as he was. You know, now, never was like that before. I remember the throw he made in an All-Star game in Seattle on the right field line at home plate.
That'll retire the side, and we'll go to the last of the 9th. 9-3 Pittsburgh. was a fly ball to deep center. Tyler Naquin went back. Not an easy play. Tough play, but he was there, and it looked like it hit right off the front of his glove.
Yeah, 2 outs.
He reels that in. A different game. They ran away with it after that.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Went off his glove and had more room than he thought.
Led to 5 runs. Edgar Santana is the 3rd Pirates pitcher of the night. Joe Musgrove went 7, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. Stephen Brault pitched the 8th, gave up 1 run on a couple of hits, and now Edgar Santana. And it will be the bottom 3rd of the Indians' order. Jason Kipnis, Roberto Perez, and Tyler Naquin due up. Fastball strike.
Yeah, ever since that last homestand, our longest one of the year, before the All-Star break, they were 2 out of 3 by Oakland, Cincinnati. They did split with the Yankees, but it was a 4-game series. And here you go, the first 2 games here going down. And this is a place that was a tough place to play for everybody before that.
I don't know what has happened, Arch. We always kind of look at home and road splits with an air of, well, it's hard to explain one year to the next why you're maybe good at home or not good at home, or good on the road or not good on the road. But usually don't see it happen in the same year, where you go from almost unbeatable to lately they look like they're playing the same sport.
It's been a reversal, and they're still going into today. The Indians are the highest scoring club in the month of July. It's just, it really is hard to figure out.
Well, it's an offense that, I mentioned it before. It's
binge.
They binge, man, and they can beat the daylights out of people. But they've been shut out back-to-back games, shut out 3 times in the month of July.
Well, and the thing here, they were jumped in these 2 games. They were jumped early. There's not much you could do. So the pitching didn't really hold them in and give them a chance for a ball game.
2 down.
Batting down for the Indians, number 30, Tyler Naquin.
Tyler Naquin will bat. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Naquin 0 for 5 in the series. And a base hit to center field. Eric Gonzalez will bat for the 2nd time tonight, with 1 on and 2 out. Gonzalez drills one deep center. It's going to be off the wall. Actually short hop the fence. Coming around 3rd and scoring is Naquin. And Eric Gonzalez with a 2-out RBI double. For Eric Gonzalez, that is his 9th double of the year, and give him 15 runs batted in for the season.
Well, wasted no time. He got the barrel head of the bat out front. Looked like he hit a breaking ball. Plugged a gap in left center field. Short hops the wall. With 2 outs, Nake went off and running. He's able to score. 9-4 now.
Now Brandon Geyer, who homered his last time up. And he rockets one down the left field line. Just foul. Sails one up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Indians feel like Geyer's at bats have been better of late. He has certainly shown it in his 2 trips to the plate here tonight. Drilled one to the bleachers and just missed an RBI double down the left field line, but he swung it hard with authority. Ray Sayers, the Pirates pitching coach, going out there, and when you've got your hand over your mouth, that's probably a good indication that that young man's getting a tongue lashing.
Yeah, a little hug and a slap. Say, let's go. Go get him. Finish it up with a little love.
Look, it's a long walk back to Pittsburgh. The 1-1 to Geyer. Well, that was a good pitch outside part of the plate. And now the Pirates 1 strike. I'm taking the first 2 in this series. Swung on and missed. He struck him out, and that'll end the ball game. Pittsburgh wins it by a final of 9-4. And they have taken the first 2 and have a chance to sweep the series tomorrow afternoon in a 1 o'clock affair. So the Indians now, Rick, have lost 8 of their last 12 at home.
Yeah.
And in their last three-game series, excluding the 4-gamer they played against the Yankees, they've lost the first 2 games in all 3 of those series.
I know, and that's rare. They used to win a lot of these first games, and hey, all they got to do, and now come back and hopefully you can salvage a win here, because we're heading out at Thursday. Will be off, and you go out for a week. So they're going to have to come on. They'll have Trevor Bauer on the mound tomorrow, and let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can slow down this offense of the Pirates.
Nobody's been able to slow down the runaway Buccos of late. They have reeled off 11 consecutive wins for the first time since 1996. And they win it here tonight by a final score of 9-4. We'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon for the series finale. It's time now for Indians Live with Al and Jensen. Well, Jensen, I'll pose it to you. Is there pressure on Trevor Bauer, or do you think he just relishes the opportunity to go out and stop a red-hot team like that?
Well, he tried to campaign to pitch for the National League All-Stars. He's going to get his chance to pitch against the National League, period, and one of their best teams tomorrow afternoon. And as far as pressure goes, Matty and Al, I think the real thing comes down to what Matt and Rick just talked about. The Indians now have lost the first 2 games of each of their last three-game series, and 8 of their last 12 overall. Yeah. I mean, that's where you kind of have a little bit of scratch in your head thinking, What's wrong when the first part of
going
series
down
here?
early too? Last night
Defensive
and tonight
miscues,
they got
yeah.
down so much. You dig yourself a hole that deep, it's not easy to get out of.
In the last 2 nights, the Indians defense has put this pitching staff squarely in a hole that this offense hasn't been able to come out of.
We'll talk more about it coming up next on Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Tonight, again, the red-hot Pittsburgh Pirates bats. Well, they got the Pirates an early lead, then they win easily. 9-4 is the final. Much to come next on Indians Live.